Hi, my name is Sakine. I'm a tax attorney and the founder of Tax Formations, which is a tax consulting firm specialized in entity and transaction structuring. Today's video is on the pros and cons of a U.S. taxpayer with a U.S. business opening an offshore entity to add to its business structure. So, everyone has heard that going offshore can result in substantial tax savings. And this client came to me asking me if it would be a good idea to open an offshore subsidiary for his US business because he had heard about, going abroad results in zero tax, right? So he wanted me to go through and list out the pros and cons which would apply to him specifically for opening an offshore subsidiary. So some of the pros were lower tax rates in the offshore jurisdiction, financial privacy and safety. There's a lot of flexibility in using jurisdictions for more financial privacy and safety than is offered in the US. For example, in Mexico, when you have 100,000 or more in the bank, your name is quickly leaked to people who start calling your home to try to get money out of you. So that is a jurisdiction without much financial privacy and safety. Um, so um, so you might want to move to a jurisdiction with more, and going international allows you to kind of shop around for the jurisdiction that provides the most of that, which may not necessarily be the US. Because as you know, for example, if you open a corporation, there's no way to avoid your name being publicly available as connected to that corporation. Other potential positives are good legal framework. You can shop around for a jurisdiction with a better legal framework than the United States. And now you have a legitimate reason to have your business be subject to that jurisdiction's laws instead of the United States laws. Also, there's opportunities for better asset protection than the U.S. offers. For example, in St. Kitts and Nevis, if you want to sue a business, you have to post a bond first. So that deters a lot of lawsuits, which is awesome. But now let's move into the cons. Now, this taxpayer, if he created a foreign subsidiary, it would be considered a controlled foreign corporation or a CFC. So a CFC is defined as any corporation in which more than 50% of the total combined voting power or value of all classes of stock entitled to vote is owned directly or indirectly by US shareholders. So this subsidiary would be 100% owned by his US business, which is a US shareholder, and would therefore be a CFC. You do not want to create a CFC. The CFC rules basically force you to pay tax on 100% of the income that your foreign subsidiary earned in the year that it earned the income, even if you didn't actually receive the income out of the subsidiary. And you have to pay that tax in the US. And it's at 30% tax rate, I believe. But the tax rate really depends on your specific situation. The bottom line, though, is you'd be paying tax in the US on that foreign subsidiary, in addition to the tax you'd be paying in the foreign jurisdiction. And when you have when a situation would cause you to create a CFC, it is unlikely that that is the best move for you. You don't want a CFC. So, the long and the short of it, um, what I told this taxpayer is there are some pros. We have to acknowledge that there are potential pros, though, because the jurisdiction might offer better asset protection. It might not. The U.S. still has good asset protection laws. It might offer a better legal system. It might not. The U.S. still has a very strong legal system. Um, and And then the con, a CFC, is just this big red stamp on his idea. Bad idea. Don't do it. The potential pros are nothing compared to the con of creating a CFC. And the big takeaway from this, and this is what I told him, there is so many taxpayers are excited about paying zero tax by adding an international component to their business. It's not just about adding, you can't just create a subsidiary in a low tax jurisdiction and get those international tax savings. Where the real international tax savings comes in is when you leave the United States and you actually don't live here anymore. When you don't live here anymore, you don't get the benefit of taxpayer money, so you shouldn't have to pay tax. Um, Pretty straightforward, right? In his situation, he still lived here and he was creating a foreign subsidiary. And the way the IRS sees that is, oh, okay, so you live here, you're getting the benefit of taxpayer dollars, but you're trying to not pay tax yourself. But when you actually move, that's when the savings comes in. That's when the savings should come in. So if you're looking to expand internationally and you have a lot of freedom, think about moving abroad. If I had the freedom to do it, I would. A lot of tax saving opportunities. And another big conclusion here is if you are in the US and you create an international subsidiary to your business because you heard that in that jurisdiction there's 0% tax, so now you won't have to pay tax, that's just not accurate. I actually can't even think of a circumstance that would result in you paying zero tax. It actually, a decent amount of the time, would probably backfire on you, as it did in this case example. If you find this video helpful, my contact information is in the description box below. You can reach out to me anytime with questions, or if you'd like to discuss further, I'll be available. Thanks.